Now, this might just be the most important video you watch this year about relationships, because my goal in life is to help you avoid toxic relationships. Because being in a toxic relationship can sometimes feel like you're literally swimming in a bathtub of toxic sludge. And the problem is, like the proverbial frog boiling in water, it doesn't feel toxic at first. It kind of starts out like a med spa, like you got your bath salts, you got the calming music, it's very relaxing, until one day you look down and you realize you can't breathe and everything around you is green, sludgy, and full of toxicity. So I want you to treat this video as your check-in. Smell that toxic bath water if you're swimming in it right now, and get out of your situation and run. What's up, everyone? My name is Adam LaDolce. I'm an executive love coach and the founder of Love Strategies, where we help successful single women get out there and attract love and do it with a proven strategy. And when we've worked with so many clients over the years, our goal, if they are currently in a toxic relationship, is to help guide them towards a long-lasting relationship. And the first way to do that is to realize if it's toxic. Because everyone's starting out point when they work with us is different. Like, some people come to us when they're completely single. Sometimes it's casually complicated situationship. But like I said, a certain percentage of clients come to us and they're in a relationship already that they know that they need to get the out of. And the only way to do this is to realize whether this is just like a hiccup in the relationship, when it's usually not. I mean, you're joining a dating coaching program, or if it's like a Chernobyl meltdown when the nuclear reactor melted down and it's like, you got to run for the hills. So here are the signs that a relationship is radioactive and not worth the cleanup. The first sign is that eggshells are everywhere. I mean, do you feel like you need to walk on eggshells around him? Like, you can't communicate, you can't give any feedback or any thoughts, otherwise it's just a complete meltdown. Now, this idea of walking on eggshells, it actually comes from the idea that you need to walk slowly and intentionally without breaking the egg. And if you've ever felt this way in a relationship, you know exactly what that feels like. You're trying to have conversation, you're trying to improve things, but you don't know what step is going to actually break the egg and it's going to go crazy. So if you feel this way, feel like you're walking on eggshells, that is a huge sign that it is a toxic relationship. The second sign is that positive behaviors are met with skepticism. Now, I remember years ago, I met this woman randomly at a bar. And no, it's not what you think. I'm married and she was in her 60s, okay? But she was telling me about her ex-husband, which people tend to do when they find out what I do for a living. And she told me the moment she knew it was the end of her marriage. And it happened when they hit a little bit of a rocky patch. And that happens all the time in relationships. But remember, she wanted to fix things. So she left him a note in his lunch, and she'd made him lunch every day for 20 years, okay? She left him a note and she said, "I love you so much and I hope you have an incredible day." And she was excited for him to come home and talk about the note. But I remember he came home and he was enraged. He was like, "What did you do?" He took this positive behavior, which is a very cute thing to do, by the way, to leave a note in a guy's lunchbox. Oh my God, like a great guy would love that. And he thought she must have done something really bad, and it turned into a meltdown. And even when she explained to him that she just wanted to leave him a nice note because she loved him, he went nuts and he didn't believe her. So this is when positive reactions are met with skepticism. That's a big problem. Run for the hills. The third sign that it's a toxic relationship is that there's an openness to speak negatively about your partner, or he speaks negatively about you behind your back. You know what I absolutely hate about reality TV shows, especially ones like The Real Housewives or any of these shows where people are just talking about relationships all the time? It normalizes the idea of speaking negatively about other people behind their back. Because this is so toxic in a relationship. When you find that your only outlet towards talking about your partner is behind their back and giving that negative feedback to other people, not to your partner, that means it is the end of your relationship. I honestly believe that like a healthy relationship, it's kind of like a vault of sorts, and some things just need to be kept within the relationship. And there are times where your partner does something that you don't like. You're not happy about it. Talk to your partner about that. Don't talk to other people about your partner. That is just going to lead to constant toxicity. And I get it. Sometimes we want to just confide in our friends and we want to vent, and to a degree that can be relatively healthy. But if it gets to a point where it's constant, you're constantly talking to your friends about the same issue, yet you haven't talked to your partner about it, that is what creates the toxicity. Vice versa, if he's doing that behind your back and you find out about it, once again, it breaks trust. It's outside of the vault. The fourth sign of a toxic relationship is any sort of violence in the relationship. Now, it pains me to have to even say this in a video, but there are a select few of you I know who are watching this video who are currently in a physically abusive relationship, and he's laid a hand on you. And I just want to say very clearly and unequivocally, if he lays a hand on you, he's done. There's an unfortunate power dynamic that happens in a heterosexual relationship where men are by nature tend to be physically stronger than women. And if a man is using that power dynamic to push you, to touch you, to hurt you, then that leads to the ultimate toxicity in a relationship. And the thing is, physical violence can even go beyond just touching you. It could even be things like if he's throwing a plate against the wall when you get in a fight, or he's punching doors. Anytime he is showing physicality when it comes to an argument or conflict, this is a major, major, major red zone that we need to run away from. And if you need any help, leave a resource right there below in the comments where you can get help in this area of your life. And the final fifth sign is that his gaslighting is making you feel crazy. Let's say, for example, you see him texting with another woman on his cell phone. You notice that you weren't snooping. You just noticed that he was texting someone. And you say, oh, I noticed that you were texting. Who are you texting over there? And he goes, no one, I wasn't anyone. And then you're like, no, but I'm just curious. It looked like it was a woman. I'm just curious who it was. Maybe a coworker. And he's like, no, it was my buddy at work. And you're like, I'm pretty sure I noticed her name was Amanda. Let's say you saw that. And he goes, you're crazy. Keep your eyes forward, not look at what I'm doing because I'm just texting my buddy. All right. It's not Amanda. And that's just one example where his gaslighting you makes you actually start to think, am I the crazy one? And the easiest way to gut check if you are actually crazy or not is to just look at past relationships. You know, have you found that this was a pattern in past relationships? Or is this a one-off situation where you're just with a guy who's completely toxic and is just trying to gaslight you? Really important. If you're finding he is constantly manipulating you and creating these lies, run for the hills. So look, I'll end on this message, and that is that when we're in a relationship and we love the person and we're drawn to them and we're really invested in them, it can be really hard to walk away from that situation, even if it's toxic. And if he is revealing the signs I'm showing in this video, it is time to run. Make the decision, move on, because I promise you 3-6 months from now, when you're away from this toxicity, you're going to be able to look at this situation with pure clarity and realize that this was the best decision you made getting out of that. So if you are really committed to making a change in your love life and you need to find that healthy, loving relationship, just leave a comment right there below committing yourself to maintaining those standards for healthy relationships. Just type healthy in the comments below. It shows me that you are listening and that you're really committing to finding that relationship. And as always, we're here to help you every single step of the way. You can always find out more at lovestrategies.com. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you, you beautiful lady, next week. Bye-bye.